All right. A couple stores that have really shined this weekend, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Okay, guys. So let's move into this. So before we jump into all of the kind of the meat and potatoes of the call here, a couple reminders as per usual. So we have our top year incentive, and you can win as a market, and you can win as a store manager. So the store with the highest percentage in any of these four things, WTR, MyATT, percent protected, and soft card, the store manager is going to win a gear or gear 2 watch. So you can potentially, you have four different ways you can win, guys. So the store, this is for all of our leaders out there. Just be the top store in any one of those four areas, and you got yourself a nice piece of equipment. So there's going to be four winners there. And then market incentives, there's four chances to win here, guys. So when all the stores in the market are hitting minimum on these four different metrics, that's how your entire market wins a casual day. So if we move on, and then you see down below here, the qualifier for all is that you have to be at least 70% WTR. I don't think most of us have any issues with that, though. We're doing pretty darn good with the WTR so far this month. So here's where we're at. Here's our stats. This is updated through the 18th. You can see our top 5 WTR, MyATT, percent protected, and soft card stores. You see the ones highlighted in yellow there are the ones that are at the top of the chart, on pace to win in that particular category. So we see Broadview and our East Peoria store are still at 100%. Now this is updated through the 18th, so I don't know how the weekend numbers affected any of this stuff. This is the most recent update that has came through. MyATT, we've got Brooklyn Center, Fergus Falls up there at 50%. Percent protected, again, East Peoria, 2 categories. Actually, if you look in soft card, they're number 2 in that category as well. So really doing great things over there in Peoria. And then Norwood Mall is 106% on the soft card. So fantastic job to be above 100% on that. And then if you look below, we have our market incentive updates. Again, we have 4 ways to win, but unfortunately we don't have any qualifiers for the percent protected piece. But we do have all stores above minimum in Lori's market for MyATT, Mike's in the Chicago region, and Ryan Erickson for the Minnesota region for soft card. So the full details on everything, I didn't want to throw it all up there because it's just a lot of information. The full details are going to be inside of your email. Brent had sent this out last week, and so dig in there and take a look at where everybody's at and how much further you need to get. It's great to have these little contests and have an opportunity to win something, so let's take advantage. And then we have our Digital Life incentive. So this doesn't apply to everybody, I understand that, but those stores that do sell Digital Life, this continues through the remainder of the month. And I know that we in Chicago here have a few stores that are on the cusp of hitting that 5 Digital Life for the month. And when you do, every salesperson makes an additional $10 on top of every sale that they sold all month long. So that's great. Any salesperson who sells 2 or more gets entered into a drawing for a $100 shopping spree, and you can get more than 1 entry. You just have to, for every 2 you sell, you get another entry. And then store manager is very similar. You got to sell 5 for the store, but then when you get to that, you get your name dropped into a hat too. So when you get to 5, the salespeople make more money, and the store manager gets dropped into a drawing. So, and then again, the store manager could have more than 1 entry for every 2 beyond the first 5 that they get. So you get to 7 Digital Life, 9 Digital Life. You got the 9 Digital Life, you got 3 entries in the drawing. So, and I don't think, because I know that where we stand currently for our Digital Life sales, I think that you'll have a pretty good odds of having your name pulled out of the hat if you have 3 entries inside of that drawing. So, let's keep it going, guys. We've kind of slowed down a little bit on the Digital Life. I think that some of the focus from the iPhone and the launch excitement, which I understand, but some of that stuff is kind of distracting to a few of our other metrics that we need to really remember about. And that's always kind of the constant struggle, right, guys? I mean, we need to be able to balance all the different things that we need to hit. And it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's a piece of cake, but that's really the challenge. And the best managers, the best store, the best staff, those are the ones that really embrace and grab onto that challenge of really trying to juggle all these different focuses and being able to win at all of them instead of just going after one single thing and doing a good job there. Meanwhile, a lot of other things slip. So Digital Life is at the forefront here because we have an opportunity to really improve on that for the rest of the month. So let's get some winners. Right? Let's get some winners, guys. I know that Brent and I were talking about this a little bit here, and I'm going to unmute you, Brent, because I think Brent wanted to speak on this point. We're going to do a quick revision to the triangle whiteboards. So, Brent, I think I have you unmuted. Can I hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Okay, so Scott, you had a reminder on here to make sure that we're keeping these triangles updated on our backboards. A report came out today. You get that from Brad. We get those from AT&T. We then filter them by region and send them out via Brad. I did notice that on today, so quick note, the percent protected on a lot of those was 0. So take a look at your dashboard and make sure that you get your latest on what that particular metric is. But we also need to add in something, and Kelly King was in the market last week, and I got a chance to talk with him about APC a little bit as we were in Peoria. And something that Core actually does on their own triangles that they do in this region is put the accessories on there in the APC level. So I kind of got the okay from him because this is his thing. This is what his kind of brainchild here. He's okay with us adding in the APC piece. So don't pay attention to the rest of this triangle. I think a couple of things on there may be a little bit different. Obviously, MPP is not correct. But as far as our APC, we're going to want to add in. So instead of having to, I think the best way of doing this when I was looking at some of the triangles out there is it's going to go right there in between your next and percent protected. My screensaver just came on. It's going to go right beneath that. So what I'm thinking is if you just take those two categories, the next and the percent protected, and give yourself a line going left to right in the middle, and give yourself an accessory column. That way you don't have to redo the entire bottom of the triangle. Then as far as updating your APC would go, because we obviously, profitability of our company, making sure that our customers are fully taken care of. They're not only protected with the MDPP, mobile insurance, and MPP, but we also make sure that they're protected with the right case options, screen protectors, glass. They also have the ability to keep their phones charged. They can listen to all the music and streaming and video options that they have with audio pieces. So we need to make sure that APC and accessories is still on our radar. So that's where we're going to put it. As far as getting that updated number, you guys will have that on a daily basis. That comes from SPS, or from Texas Cellular, as you get that on a daily basis. That will show you what your store's APC is. So make sure you update that one manually. So you get two different reports to keep that, but that'll give you a gauge then of where you're at. Use the $55 marker as green. So green would be above 55, and below would be, I think you guys are using in a lot of locations a red dry erase marker for anything that's below stat. So let's start at 55. We may take a look at that to see where everyone stands, but that's what our goal is. So that's basically it, Scott, for that. So you guys could get that added in. We'll also send this slide out and work with your upper management team to make sure we get this. But maybe we do another round of selfies with that change put in place. We'll put some ideas out there. So, all right, Scott, back to you.
Awesome. Okay. And guys, remember too, okay, so Brent really just kind of covered the operational side of getting the triangle updated with this, and we want to get that done today, guys. It's not going to be a big overhaul, just adding another piece in there. But as you mentioned, it's a big cornerstone to our profitability as a company. So we have a few accessory promos out there that we had going for this weekend for the accessory kits for the iPhone 6, and then some kind of details for what happens when you run out of screen protectors, and they're coming in, they're being expedited this week, and so we need to make sure we stay all over those kind of things when they hit the email. I know that as soon as I got it, I was immediately sending something to my DMs, saying to store managers, make sure they know about this right away. I'm sure that all regions were the same on this. So high priority things when we have promos like this, guys, so that we can watch those numbers just creep up, when we have these big, busy weekends. All right, so get that added in today, and I'm sure, like Brent said, some will be hitting your email with some instruction on what we're going to do to keep it fun. All right, so let's move on here. So along the talk track of Apple sales training online, ASTO, you guys have heard this. You guys have seen this. It's been around for months now. And I want you guys to remember and understand something. We were given this opportunity by Apple, and we were one of just a select few dealers that had this opportunity. And now with the launch of the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, we have a bunch of product knowledge that we can actually gain. I know that we have product knowledge we can gain on their past products too, but this new product, this exciting new product that everybody's coming in asking for, everyone can actually very much benefit from going through some of these training courses on their newer products. Well, what you see here is kind of discouraging. This is the breakdown of course list completion, 1%, 15%, 7%, and I'm not even going to sit here and gloat being at 15% because that's just still, that's we're so far away, guys. I don't want us to look at this and go, oh my gosh, we're just so far below. What we need to do is just kind of turn this around one person at a time. We're not going to go from 1%, 7 or 15% up to 100% overnight. But what we can see is to see that gradually start to increase. And I know that there's some issues out there with technical problems, splash page not being found or something. That's one of them. If you're having technical issues, guys, we have to make sure we get that stuff to Apple, and there's an Apple support line, either call or email, and they can go through and fix that. I had it happen myself, and they had to fix it, and they got it fixed, and everything was good, right? So we had to just kind of go through the motions and then get those things resolved, and you can't let up until you get it resolved, because once it is resolved, usually it stays working perfectly fine, and then you can go through and complete these courses. Brent, I know this is a kind of a passion of yours. Is there anything you'd like to add to what I was saying there?
Yeah, as far as, and you hit it pretty good, there are a lot of, and I've seen this even in the location where my office is, there's a lot of issues with getting yourself initially registered. So some things to keep in mind, right? This was sent out a long time ago. Months ago, to where, if there was any kind of issues, then please get with the Apple support team. So definitely, I can't stress it enough that we need to do this. It's not an option. It's really by end of June, if not July, we needed to be at somewhat of 100% participation level, and you see where we stand here. So please get with that Apple support team. Make sure you get registered. Once you do, taking the courses, I did this, which is what I typically do, kind of dive in. I became a Apple, I don't even know what gold level or professional level in the course of a day. So not just taking the minimum amount of courses, which is the 7 that we've got listed, but there's some additional ones that you can get on there. You can be an additional support person. And the future is so bright for us with Apple and the opportunities that's out there for us to be able to get somewhat training, like a hands-on training for iPads is what we're trying to get to next. Some of your managers have been through this. I've went through it. Scott, you went through this as well. It was like a 3 to 4 hour hands-on training, and I tell you what, I came out of that training and I went right home and I started downloading some apps and using the iPad that I'd had for years in ways that I'd never used before. I've heard of people that went out and bought an iPad just because of the cool things that they can do with it. The productivity side of it, not just having the iPad as a screen to watch Netflix and listen to music, but the things that you can actually create with. And that's what really goes the extra mile. And when we show our customers, that gives them a wow factor. One last point that I'll put on this, there are other agents, right? Because I think we put on here we're one of like 5 or 6 agents to be a part of this program. We're behind those other agents. The majority of their agents, and I talked to my contact at Apple, some of them have at least an 80%, not just participation level, but 80% plus of their staff, and these are companies larger than us, have gone through and at least did these 7 courses. And of those 80%, 20 or 30% of those are at the professional or the highest level that you can get at. So yes, there are a lot of issues out there, technicalities for whatever reason, you get that splash page or whatnot, but once you send into their Apple support, use the links that's out there, you get them fixed, it is fixed then. Right? You don't have to mess with it any longer, so it's probably something that just didn't go through correctly, and then we can get in and take those courses. So we are weighed heavily, and I'll be honest, it was a little embarrassing talking to the Apple rep when he knows where we sit on a participation level, and then he tells me where other companies are. These big national players, which is where we're trying to get to. We're trying to be one of these bigger players. It's a big difference. So please make sure that everyone gets out there, gets that stuff fixed, get with the Apple support team, I think, 24, 48 hours, and they get back to you and you get it resolved, and then you're good going forward, and it doesn't take long. So that's all I have, Scott. Thanks.
Good. Thanks, Brent. And it's really going to rely a lot on the leadership, and I mean managers and district managers. Of course, we need some kind of self-driven kind of motivation from all the listeners on the call. But leadership, you guys can really help out with this if you just kind of spur this kind of focus when there's downtime. There's nothing going on in the store. They should be working on their spot courses and their ASTO courses at any piece of downtime. Right? And if you're waiting on a login to be coming back or a reply from Apple, when's the last time a request was sent? Maybe we should make a follow-up on that. So that's where the leadership can really play a big part in getting us on track here, guys. So look forward to that. Yes, seeing that turnaround. Here's a MyIQT best practice from one of our brand new Indiana stores down by Indianapolis. I don't know exactly which one it came from yet. But these are existing stores that are going to be transferring over to Midwest Cellular stores on October 1. This is a fantastic best practice from the MyIQT app. And I saw this and I was like, man, this is really, really cool. So you can go into the MyIQT app and check the status of your order for your iPhone 6, well, for any direct fulfill order, but you'll see, obviously it's very relevant right now with the iPhone 6 being ordered by a lot of customers. So you just go into the app, and you see here it's all circled. So you got the shop AT&T, check order status, then you put in the wireless number and the billing zip code, and boom, it tells you when you're going to get that phone, when it's pending to ship, preparing to ship, and so on. How convenient is that for your customers that ordered an iPhone 6? It's a great way to get you guys and your customers more familiar and actively using the app. Of course, we want that tick mark. Of course, we want to see that percentage rise. But one way to make that rise in a big picture, long-term kind of context is to get more familiar with it, and maybe having the customer access this to check the status of their order doesn't move the number, but it kind of does move the number, because the more customers we get using the app and being familiar with the app, we're not just doing it to move a number. We're doing it to better the customer experience. And that's what it's all about, guys. I mean, of course, we're chasing this number, this percentage, but that's to get us to ultimately improve the experience. And here's a great way to improve that experience. So this was sent out as a separate email communication. I need you guys to make sure that you print that out, and everybody has the screenshots that you see here on the screen so that they know how to go through and do this, because you will have customers calling in the upcoming weeks saying, when's my iPhone going to be coming? instead of just jumping to conclusions or doing a lot of work to check on it, say, here's how you can simply check this on your own, and you can check it every day, every hour if you want to. So great little feature there for the MyTT app. Some of this stuff is just a reminder, but the buyback change, we covered this last week. Carrie did a good job of covering this. The SKU on the ATT trade-in, so you put that in, and this is a change. I think everybody's aware of the change now, but it comes up at $0, and then you have to click that little shopping cart thing to add to the cart, and then you answer all the 4 questions about the quality of the phone, put the IMEI in, and then boom, it changes to the amount, the correct amount for that device. So it's important that we don't have people stopping when they see that 0. Okay. There was an error on the buyback program over the weekend. It looks something similar to what you see there. This was a known issue due to the high traffic on the buyback program. I heard a couple different ways. I heard that it had to do with the iPhones, where the Find My iPhone wasn't turned off. I also heard a couple instances where it wasn't even iPhones. So we actually got on the phone with our buyback support team, and they told us a couple things. Really, the big kind of takeaway was that they knew about the issue because their systems were just so overwhelmed. There wasn't really anything they could do about it, but they were actively trying to get a resolution. But the lady on the phone said, it was working for me a little bit ago, and now it's not. And then I went back into it, and it worked again. So the best recommendation, she said, was to back out and try again. Obviously, also make sure that Find My iPhone is turned off, because that may very well just be the only issue. So if that's the issue, turn Find My iPhone off, go back into it and try it again, and then if it works, great. If it's not an iPhone altogether, just back out and try again. Now, I'm more putting this in here as a reminder slide in case that we continue to see this problem, but honestly, if it has to do with the increased traffic with the program because of the weekend, we may not even see this issue again, at least for some time. But the main point here, guys, is this last one. Do not shy away from using the program because you potentially could get an error. This is a great opportunity to get additional sales, whether it be a tablet, accessories, another phone. So we want to use this buyback program as much as possible, especially with these elevated trade-in amounts for the iPhone 4 and up. So we have to make sure that we embrace the program. And I get nervous when we see an error like this, and some people are like, I'm not going to use it because I'll just get an error. We can't have that happening. So here's some of our promos that are going to the end of the month, guys. These are great promos that we really capitalize them on over the weekend. But we have these things continuing through September 30th. So our iPad and iPhone bundle promo. So they get $200 off the purchase of an iPad on a 2-year agreement when they buy an iPhone on AT&T Next. So all these customers that are getting an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus on Next, even if it's through direct fulfill, can get the get the iPad purchased. It has to be out of in-store stock, and it must be sold on a 2-year contract. However, if you run out of iPads, our management team heard on a call the other day from Heather that if we run out of our iPad physical in-store stock and you sell an iPhone 6, we can expedite a special order for an iPad to get it to your store, and when it gets there, we can still honor the discount, the bundle discount. But you have to still sell the iPhone on Next, and you have to bring that iPad through within the 14 days, which is why it's important that we expedite the shipment to your store. So you get it within the 14 days, and the customer can come back and get that bundle discount within the 14 days. So maybe make a note of that when you send the special order in if you have a scenario. But again, don't shy away from selling this promo because A, you're out of stock on the iPad, or maybe that certain color or model that the customer wants, or maybe they don't want to trade their phone in. There's all these different promos we can they're stackable, right? And then that kind of leads me to my next point. We have the $100 bill credit for new activation Next customers. This continues through the end of the month. A lot of opportunity on our iPhone new lines, of course, that we're going to have. And then up to $300 back on the buyback program. So you see the chart here. $300 for the iPhone 5S, $200 for iPhone 4 and up. So, again, a lot of these customers that are buying an iPhone 6 and 6 Plus are existing iPhone customers. So they probably have one of these devices. We have to make sure that we're capitalizing because that's a lot of opportunity to boost our other stats just by getting them to trade in a phone. So it's a root solution to some other sales, not necessarily problems, but things that we can move if we use the buyback program to help us, all right? It's a tool in our tool belt. So overall, guys, great weekend. Check out these stats. On Friday, the 19th, we had 1,042 boxes sold, record-breaking day, best day we've ever had as a company. We had 50 home solutions on top of that and 39 tablets. Absolutely stunning, guys. We really stepped it up. I know that each store, give or take, got 10 iPhones. If that's the case, and like I said, give or take, some only got like 5, some got maybe 13. So if you take 10 times 50 stores, that's 500 physical phones. Out of those 1,042 boxes sold, I'm betting that 80 to 90% of that were iPhones on that particular day. So we obviously did a very fantastic job with doing a lot of direct fulfill orders, and that's exactly what we were looking to have happen. We followed it with a great Saturday as well, a better than normal Saturday, 586 boxes, 42 home solutions, and 36 tablets. So we got to keep the tablet numbers moving with our iPads. We got to keep our boxes moving with the direct fulfill, and then we got to keep our overall home solutions and quality of sale moving as well. So here's a few of the line photos from Friday, and this is, a lot of people sent them in. I pulled from what I had through either group text messages or emails or whatever. So this is a variety of different stores that you see here. A lot of them are my Chicago stores because that's what I was sent. But we do see Bloomington here at the top in the middle. Overall, it was just a fantastic day. I was in Naperville, which was, you can see my little line here, which is this one. That's Naperville. I took that. They had a line of about 10 people. It was a great day. We absolutely had so much fun, and we're going to talk through some of that stuff next year. But as we move on here, customers are going to come in asking for an iPhone. They will continue to come in asking for an iPhone, no different than what they've done over the weekend. Closing the phone is really the easy part, but your skills are really put to the test in two ways. Number one, can you get them to direct fulfill that iPhone? That will be the big question going forward because, as you know, we don't have very much stock. We're going to get more, but we don't know when and we don't know how much. So the challenge is your sales skills are really put to the test with, can you get that customer to go ahead and order the phone, because that is the best solution for them. Waiting is not the best solution. So you don't want to advise that, recommend that, or give them any indication that that is the best route that they could take. Ordering it is, okay? And you need to make sure you paint that picture very clearly. And then number two is, how well can you maximize that sale? So once that phone is closed, even if it's done through direct fulfill, what accessories are you showing them for their new iPhone 6? Because you want to go ahead and close them on that accessory kit or that case or whatever in store, so they leave with it, so when their phone arrives at their doorstep, they have everything they need to protect it immediately and get everything else set up. So those are really the two main questions, and that's going to carry on for the remainder of the month and probably beyond that as well. But with the hype is still there, guys. The excitement is still in the air, and even though our big weekend is behind us, there's a lot of customers that didn't want to mess with it this weekend. They want to wait until a little bit of the chaos passes before they go ahead and come in to talk to you about getting an iPhone 6. They don't want to deal with the crowds. It's like the people that don't want to go out on Black Friday and deal with all the traffic of the customers and hopping in the store with all that madness. Right? So they're going to come in. They're going to start to trickle in this week. A lot of phone calls too that people are. So some of these, we have a few of our stores that we've been able to get in contact with. These are our top 5 that did the best job with overall boxes, overall best job with direct fill orders. I have been able to reach out and get back. A few stores got back to me. So I do want to call on a few of you guys to give us some of your best practices. So I'm going to first start with Josh from Champaign. If you give me a second here, Josh, let me see Team CHM on here. Let me unmute you. Josh, can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome.
So tell me a little bit about what you guys did this weekend that you found a lot of success with.
Well, I'm sure just like many other locations, we're receiving a lot of phone calls asking if we have these devices in stock. Now, the answer that you could give is, no, but we can order it for you, or letting the customers know about the promos that are available for them, letting them know, like kind of you said, that this is the fastest way that they're going to get their new device, is through our free ship program. All they have to do is come into our location. We can help you place that order and also do a free rate plan checkup to make sure that you're on the best plan available. So once these customers are coming into our location, we're just letting them know about all the available promos that they're eligible for when they're getting the new device. We also kind of took a deeper approach and not only stopping with that one line, but kind of showing the customers that, hey, you have a couple lines that are available for upgrade. Why not go ahead and pre-order some devices for some of your other family members too? And not only that, kind of a hot button you could use is activating a new line of service today. We can get you an additional $100 off of your new iPhone. So just kind of giving some of those promos to the customers.
Nice. Well, hey, Joshua, it worked out very well for you, and just keep that success rolling. You bring up a really good point. Those phone call customers are really, really crucial. A lot of them are calling store to store to store to store. The question then becomes, where are they going to go to buy their phone? Because everybody's probably going to be giving them the same spiel. No, we don't have any in stock. You need to be that last call that they make, right? That last stop. I don't need to call another store because this guy was fantastic. I'm going to go in and I'm going to see Josh because Josh took care of me, listened to what I had to say, and he made a recommendation that I should order it. And I shouldn't be calling around store to store to store. I'm just wasting my time. The best way for me to get an iPhone 6 is to come in, see Josh, put the order in, and then I'll get it. So great job. Thank you very much for your feedback, Josh. Let me move on here to Beth. I'm going to go to Bolingbrook. Let me unmute you here, Beth. Can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
I can. What did you guys do this weekend, Beth?
Well, we really didn't do anything special, so to say. We just kind of stayed positive. My whole team was upbeat from the minute they came in to the minute they walked out of the door. Customers were just excited to be in here and a part of that. They just basically kept the energy going, so when customers came in asking about it, even if they knew we didn't have any, they tell them, you know what, let me go check in the back. Then they'd come out and they'd give them an option. A, you can run around America trying to find this phone right now, or B, we can get you the phone right now, let's put in the order, you're going to guarantee get the phone. And some customers still left, but most of them stayed just to be, a part of the party. So as I was walking around, I just heard everybody laughing and joking around, and we just had a good time with it. So customers were happy.
Awesome. And it's so important, right? It's so important for your WTR. It's so important for them to be in the right mindset to be buying product and getting those add-ons. Everybody needs to have a good time, laugh, joke. It's stressful, but if we let that stress get the best of us, then it can plummet our customer experience and our WTR, and then customers won't want to buy from us. They won't want to come back and shop with us. But it sounds like you guys gave a great atmosphere to shop in, and that's what customers want. That's what we want as shoppers. So our customers are no different. Thank you very much for that, Beth. And then I'm going to go to one more, and then we're going to hear from Mr. Deal again. But I want to go to Tony in Savage. Let me find here. I got to unmute you. Looks like you're unmuted. Tony, can I hear you? All right, let me try one more thing here.
Okay.
we do